What's up, my ninjas? Man, that is so dumb, but I kind of like it. Anyway, this week, I think I'm just going to talk about bike maintenance. Alright, just to update on keto. Funny thing happened. The day after I posted that video, I weighed myself and I had lost 2 pounds, 3 pounds. I was like 194 and some change. So that's good, right? Did cheat. Had a tortilla, had a El Presidente at Fuego the other day. My wife and I went out and, we were like, you know what? Let's forget about carbs for one evening. It's just one flour tortilla. Probably not too terrible, but the way keto works, if you introduce carbs, I think you can have like up to 8 carbs a day, and it's not a big deal. But anything over that could cause, basically resets your body. I guess I got a reset, and I've been pretty good since. The funny thing is about keto is I don't get hungry a lot. I eat because it's a habit, or there's like I'll get up and I'll go in the kitchen for some stupid reason and I'll grab something to eat that's keto friendly. But that's the update for now. So I'm about just under 195 or so. Now, bike maintenance. Okay, if you guys saw the video I posted, what was it? Last Tuesday, I guess. I had some issues with my bike. It was dripping fluid, fuel, stuff. It wasn't pretty. Didn't end up riding with those guys for very long. Just came home and I put it in the garage because I wasn't going to work on it. And so this morning, because there's a break in the rain and the temperature's decent, and I had some time, I decided to give it an old look over. I pulled the covers, the seat, the tank, pulled it all up, looked in there, ran it, couldn't really see anything, but I had felt some air, and I had felt that before, but I wasn't aware of what was going on. So I checked it out, and apparently I think what happened is when I had pulled the airbox off last time, I had yanked a hose off that goes from the cylinder back into the airbox. I think it recirculates the air or something. But there's a hose on this side. I probably can't see anything, but there's a hose on this side that splits the fuel into both lines, and that has a tendency to leak a little, especially when we go from like 80 one day and 40 the next. So I was tightening that, but I forgot. So dumb. I had forgotten that I had positioned those screws so I could just stick a long screwdriver in there and do it from the side without taking anything off. But I didn't realize that until I had taken everything off. When I had taken the airbox off to get to everything, I had accidentally pulled that hose off, and I don't know what it's called, but when it was running, it basically sprays fluid all up under the gas tank. Once it condensates, I guess it drips down on everything, and it's hard to tell if there's a leak, where it's coming from. So put that hose back on. I cleaned up, gave the bike a little bit of a wash this morning. I'm gonna give it a little test ride to see if that fixes the problem. I'm also gonna stop by my favorite bike shop here in the whole world and maybe get a little bit of professional advice. And I'm over 15,000 miles currently, and I'm due like a valve check, if I'm not mistaken. So I need to see what that's about. And there's a real good video on YouTube if you guys haven't seen it. This guy I think his name is Nemosaurus. I think that's his YouTube channel. He has a really good video. Basically what he wanted to do was check his valve clearance and correct it if it was wrong. So he has a video series of him taking apart the bike, giving instructions on it, and then how to do the valve clearance and everything. Of course, putting it back together is it's a SV1000. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, okay, so I don't know if I finished a while ago, but the guy's name is Nemosaurus, and he has a nice little breakdown. I think what he was trying to do was just check his valves and then the valve clearance and re-shim it. And so in the process, what he did was he took apart and videoed it and gave you kind of a breakdown on how to do all that stuff. And pretty informative. The last one he does, I think, is the one where he does the actual valves, where he measures them and takes them apart, and he does a real good job. So I watched that video. I think I've seen that video twice now, and he makes it look really good, like really easy. Like, you know, hey, if you've got a little space to work and can take your time and do it right, you'll be able to fix this on your own and save yourself quite a bit of money. Because when it comes to motorcycles, most dealers are going to charge you about $120 an hour, and I think it's about a 3 or 4 hour job. So yeah, but while I am not completely horrible at mechanic stuff, I feel like doing the valves on this thing would not be something that I would be able to do on my own. So I stopped by the bike shop to see what he would charge, and it's reasonable. It's reasonable. I mean, it's always more money than I want to spend because I'm cheap, but you know, you gotta look at that balance. You gotta say, okay, what can I do versus what can I not do? How much would it cost me to do something, and how much would it cost to fix if I break something? So to me, it's more like if I get him to do it, it saves me the headache, and also it saves me from a bigger charge later on. So, like, I mean, knowing me, I'd get it. Everything would look right, feel right, seem right, and then I'd start it up, and then the engine would blow. Kaboom! Like, oh yeah, that's what that part was. So it's reasonable. I'll probably get that done whenever I get some actual cash. And overall bike maintenance, there's a lot of things that you can do as a bike owner, and I think you should do as a bike owner, just to get yourself familiar with things. You know, check your tires often, check your brakes, check your chain, your tension on your chain, and make sure you clean it. I don't know how frequent you should do that off the top of my head, but you know. And then there's various, like the valve clearance is every, I think, 15,000 miles on this specific bike. It may be different on yours. And there's little things, you know, like on my last bike, I had the flush mount blinkers, but they weren't very bright. So what I ended up doing was on the inside, stick some LEDs. I think there's a video on my channel. You can see that. And put them on the inside, and that gave it kind of a recessed light look to it. And then I put the ones on the back too, since I didn't have what did I do? I had a fender eliminator, and then the turn signals were on the side of the license plate, so I ended up taking those off and putting them on the fender eliminator part. Really not that hard to do. That's something that it's whatever. And there's a few things that need to be done, I guess not need to be done, that could be done, without much effort. On the last bike, I had taken out my rear shock and replaced it with a ZX14 shock. I got a little bit of a smell there, but I don't think I'm leaking. So that's the whole reason I was out and about this morning, so I could take my bike out for a test ride. Like, I smell it, but it may be on the exhaust. I know it was smoking earlier when I was just letting it idle. Ooh, I'm hungry. I was getting hungry, and I forgot that all I had for breakfast was 3 pieces of bacon because I wasn't hungry this morning. But now I'm hungry. Oh, and I'm pretty excited. I'm going to meet up with a friend this evening, and go watch Black Panther. It's a movie that everybody loves, apparently. And I'm a big Marvel fan. I think they've done really good with their movies overall. So I'm excited to see this one. Well, I guess that's about it. Hey, if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment, share this video with all the people, all the social medias. That'd be awesome. Yeah, looks like I got it fixed. It hadn't been leaking. I think there's some residual oil and stuff sitting around on the case there. I just need to power wash it, pressure wash it, something. Anyway, cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.